Jai Sachidanand.
Namo Vitragay.
Namo Vitragay.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Loe Savasahunam.
Namo Loe
Sahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Savabhavapanasano.
Savabhavapanasano.
Mangalanancha Savesim.
Mangalanancha Savesim.
Padmam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand Mahatma. This week we had the Purusharth of Vyasthit Shakti and Syadwad Vani. Any experiences?
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
So I'm the process of understanding Syadwad and Purusharth, from Dadaji I understand, and with the grace of Dadaji and help of Aptaputras and Mahatmas, they are helping, and they are also inspiring, Dadaji also has said that you should be take the good values of everyone. So Mahatmas and Aptaputras especially are inspiring. Regarding the last time which I said that which I was bypassing the Syadwad, so I'm working on that, so I can understand my mother, so what is her viewpoint, and and also for other files. So this is my Purusharth.
Well, so what is your experience on Syadwad?
Yes, Syadwad, I'm understanding that everyone has his own viewpoint, and so we should take.
In 100 years, I think we're going to become the third world country. Like I literally think Canada and North America.
According to the Vyawar, so that is what I understood. So here, one more thing. I found a good poster. I would like to share that, which is also recording to the 26th January. Can I share that? 1 minute.
Sure.
So whatever with the help of correct understanding, insistence and adamantly are released, there one will experience liberation. So here, the thing is that if I am insisting and adamant, this is the parameter, and that means I don't have correct understanding. So with any file, if there is some instance and adamancy or so, that means I still have to understand the other person's viewpoint. So this is what I'm trying, for the correct understanding with the help of Aptaputras and Mahatmas.
Deepakanandji?
That's true. Actually, it creates a big obstacle in having oneness with the other person. And when we have a lot of insistence and very adamant in handling or dealing with people, then unknowingly or knowingly, we are hurting the other person. And when we are hurting anybody's mind, speech, and body, then I believe you can't expect peace and happiness within yourself. At the same time, you are hurting others, so because of you, someone else is getting hurt. But gradually, because of this self realization and our alertness and our vigilance inside, we are able to understand where all we are becoming adamant, we don't listen to others, and we want to impose our ideas on others, our beliefs on others. So, when I don't have worldly happiness in my dealing, then how can I expect about liberation? So, when we understand that these are my current accounts and it has come for settlement, then with that understanding, and I want to handle this dealing amicably in a balanced way. So, with that goal or with that your final vision that no, if you want to get away with the account, karmic account, then you have to finally handle in a balanced way. So you will leave your insistence, you will leave your belief, which you are unknowingly or knowingly imposing on others. So this is how it's a wonderful thing, and this is very common. Nobody wants to listen to others. Everybody want to follow. I mean, others to follow you. So here, when Dada has said, it really brings to our awareness this very common mistake of insistence and not listening to others and making others do and believe your way. So with this, and our correction gets initiated, and ultimately, when the dealing is going on, we will be able to become vigilant, aware that, oh my God, I'm unnecessarily forcing the other person believe what I believe, and I leave it to the other person then. So ultimately, I won't be hurting the other person's ego. I won't be hurting the other person, and that is how it will bring me first happiness, and ultimately it will free me from the past karmas also. Jai Satchidanand.
Pulinanandji?
That's true. That's true. You see, with the help of correct understanding, basically, if you really look at this word insistence and adamancy, essentially we are insistent and adamant in the relative dimension for all worldly matters related with your file, our file number one, or with other people, or where things are. If you just make a little observation, we are insistent in the relative, not in the real, you see. And the more we are insistent or adamant about our viewpoints, beliefs, they are all on the relative. We are never insistent that I want to remain in pure soul. We are never adamant that come what may, I will remain in pure soul. We are never insistent and adamant on the real part. All this is there in the relative. So we have to understand I am insistent and even where, for what, in the relative, which is all temporary. So for what am I insistent? So this is one way which will help us to understand that whatever I'm doing is for relative and which is a temporary affair. The mind, body, speech being temporary, all situations, circumstances being temporary. That is number one. Number two, this insistence, if it released, then we will be able to understand Vyasthit also at play. Let us see what's happening in Vyasthit. Let us see how the other person, his viewpoint, his behavior, what is happening. It may help us in some instances. It may help us in some instances to understand or observe Vyasthit, the third agna. So, moment we let go of this thing, basically we experience liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from our own mind, body, speech. we become separate from our own mind, body, speech. The discharge ego has brought this insistence, but we are not, we don't get engrossed with that insistence. So we remain separate. So we are, in a way, that is the way we will experience liberation. Oh, I am not this. File number is one is doing this. So we will able to experience, separation from the file number one of mind, body, speech. And if we release our insistence and admanacy, we become sahaj, we become casual. So we are able to flow with the events, flow with the people, or flow with the situation. So releasing the insistency helps us to become sahaj, and that in turn will helps us to become more observer status, gnata drashta, the knower and seer. If you're not insistent, we remain in the pure soul awareness. We observe what's happening to file number one. So all this is called, that you will experience liberation means we will become in the observer status, gnata drashta, knower seer status. Mind, body, speech will become casual, will flow with the discharge karmas. We will experience Vyasthit because we are observer status, and the relative discharge will get played out, played out. So there are these are the dimensions to releasing, and that can only go, this insistence and adamantcy can only go with the help of right understanding or correct understanding. The incorrect what is the incorrect understanding? The opposite of correct understanding. The incorrect understanding is that I am right, my viewpoint is right, this is the way things should be done, what we call potapano. So that is the incorrect understanding. And the correct understanding is that no, you are not the doer, Vyasthit is the doer. All these are circumstances which you have raised. It is our charge which is playing out as discharge. So, and now I want to go to moksha, I want to square off all my liberating accounts. So the correct understanding is not to stay, The incorrect is that I want my world or relative part to be perfect or according to my design. And the correct understanding is no, I have to square off the relative part, just release the relative part because it is a result of my own, generation. I have generated or created this mind, body, speech. So once we get the correct understanding that I am the pure soul, I want to liberate from this. This mind, body, speech is not in alignment with the vision of the vitrags, and hence it is harmful for me in the present life and also in the future life on my journey to moksha. So all these types of different viewpoints of correct understanding, only when we have this correct understanding, we will be able to release the insistence. Just by saying that release the insistence or adamantly, one cannot release. What to release? Why to release? What is the advantage release? Why should I release? So that why and what will be answered with the help of correct understanding. And this is the reason why I should be releasing it in my own better interest. Better interest in the sense I come back to my pure soul, my true self, my nature, my inner bliss and inner happiness. The incorrect understanding is result of the belief that there is happiness in the relative in the way I feel this should be done, whereas the right understanding is in the belief that happiness is not in the relative, happiness in the real. So these are the various other dimensions of correct understanding. And as and when we develop this correct understanding, we will be able to release it. And by experience also, we feel that not releasing insistence and adamantly, what does it lead to? It leads to friction, it leads to clashes, hence, which is painful and not even in the interest of the worldly life or the relative. So, what is not even beneficial in the relative and causes pain to me or pain to others, then what's the point in having that? So even with the help of Samyak Buddhi or right understanding, we will be able to feel, yes, even for the relative matters also it's not of any use. Real anyway it's of no use. So understanding from all these various angles, the correct understanding with the help from all these viewpoints uh, will help us to become release insistence. And once we release insistence, we become sahaj, we flow, and then that's the true liberation because the external situations don't affect us or they don't cause pain to us. They will affect us, but they don't cause pain to us. And if there is no pain, then we are liberated from our own file number one. So that is the first order of liberation here in this life birth. So this is what I felt is what I expand on the sutra. Jai Sachidanand.
Keshabai, you want to expand? Have any questions on that?
No, regarding I have another question. If you allow, then I will ask.
Okay. Hold on. Pulinanji, then okay, we'll go to Shailabet. Shailabet?
Jai Sachidanand, Pulinanandji, Jai Sachidanand-Deepakanandji, Jai Sachidanand Rajnikant Dada, and Jai Sachidanand Mahatmas. And I'm wondering, this is probably in line with what we were just discussing about correct understanding. So the Apta Sutra which came today, it says this is a place of dependency. We are free, independent, and if we go to our own place, the solution will come. The whole world is yearning for freedom from this dependency. So this independence that Dada is talking about, is this independent from the mind, speech, and body?
Pulinanji? Pulinanji?
Acha, me. Yeah, fine. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Same thing that
Yeah, it is basically that independence from mind, body, speech only, which will lead to the ultimate independence. That is ultimate liberation, rather. You see, parvashta is the word that is used, and then we feel dependent on I'm forced to do this, I'm forced to do that because of situations or people. So that's where one feels dependent. Is forced by circumstance people do. And if one gets anchored in the pure soul, then it is the file one number one who is doing whatever it is forced to do. So that is the independence. That is the independence.
So yeah, this is not independence from other like fellow human beings and all. No, that is not.
No.
No, it's only from. Okay.
That will depend on our karmic effects, you see.
Exactly, because those accounts will be there anyway. So how we cannot free ourselves from that unless we clear the accounts, no? So that is what I was a little confused. When they talked about dependency, we are going to be dependent. We are social animals. So to clear the accounts, we'll be there and we'll be depending on each other, no? And
That is mutual interdependence.
Ah,
We are interdependent for each other. I'm dependent on my servant dependent on me for salary. I'm dependent on my family members, say husband, wife, brother, sister, children, parents.
right.
So that's a mutual interdependence based on karmic accounts.
Karmic accounts, yes.
So that will remain. But the freedom is from the radvesh that evolves in the relationship or in the situations. The likes, dislikes that get evolved, we will be free from those likes and dislikes, basically. If you are in the soul, so whatever is happening to the, it is happening to who? It is happening to final one. Okay, so this sutra, let us read it. Chalo. આ પરવશ જગ્યા છે. See, that's what I said, no? પરવશતા. આપણે સ્વતંત્ર છીએ. પોતાની જગ્યા જઈએ તો ઉકેલ આવી જાય. જગત આખું આ પરવશતાથી મુક્તિ ખોળે છે. Yeah, but that's it. This is a place of dependence. Any the mind, body, speech is dependent on all the other people and situations. And if either I'm in the file number one, that's I'm the name bearer, then I'm in the dependency because mind, body, speech is in the interdependent domain, of what we were saying.
Yes.
So if I'm with my mind, body, speech, I'm Tanmayakar, as I'm the name bearer, I'm Pulinanand, then I'm dependent. But if I become the pure soul, So આપણે સ્વતંત્ર છીએ, પોતાની જગ્યાએ જઈએ. So if we come to our
पूरा जगह
place,
ये समझता
own place
खोजता है. Okay.
means our own true self. We re- re- the pure depend. The world is yearning from this dependency on people, situations, and this, So that the relative dependency, but the pain or the dislike that is caused because of that will go away, because it's not happening to me, it's happening to file number 1, and I am the pure soul. If we come to our own place means our own true self. Then who is I? I'm the pure soul. Otherwise, where was I? I was the name bearer.
Saying if you go to our own place means if you're anchored in the Shuddhatma, is it?
Yes, if basically if anchored in the Shuddhatma, then the dependency goes away. Mind body speech is interrelated in terms of dependency, but the pain caused because that will go away, because we are not in the pain. We are not with the mind body speech. So I Pulinanand may have before that I have to go here, I have to go there. But if I remain the pure soul, then I will observe that Pulinanand has to go here, Pulinanand has to go there. That is his account. So that dependency will not be there.
Will not be there. Okay, now I understand.
I'm not doing. True.
Thank you.
Ranji?
Yeah, Jai Satchidanand. No, our belief that I am Shailya itself makes us dependent. But now that factor doesn't come up, that I am Shailya. But that which belongs to Shailya is mistakenly believed as mine. That is, it's a discharging ownership out of the discharging karmic effect, which is making us experience the discharging egoism, that is egoism of suffering. That suffering is part of the karmic effect of Shailya. And when we are not vigilant about this understanding, in the sense that as I am pure soul, my pure soul perpetual element, my pure soul perpetual qualities, and my pure soul perpetual phases of knowing and seeing, they are mine. Not this mind, speech, body of Shailya, who are dependent on the cosmic power of Vyasthit Shakti. So when this vigilance is not there, then that feeling of helplessness or dependency naturally comes up, and you start feeling upset, or you don't experience that bliss and happiness.
Yeah.
So what it says, try to run away from this place of dependency of mind, speech, body, and dwell in pure soul, who I am, who is independent with its own inherent quality of seeing and knowing. Yes. Primarily seeing, because through perception only we understand that Shailya's mind, speech, body, which are in the hands of cosmic power of Vyasthit Shakti, they are not in my control. So if you try to own any of its happening, then it is going to create a dependency, and your happiness and bliss will be snatched away. But it is our privilege that having got realized, we stay as pure soul and let the discharging karma of Shailya pass away. Of course, it will end up with suffering, but that suffering is not yours. Suffering is of Shailya, which she ends up passing through actually, but the connectivity with the speech, she inadvertently, she doesn't know, and she speaks that I don't like it, I'm in trouble. And all this feeling or owning of Shaila's suffering, which gets expressed in the speech, which is how the discharging egoism get expressed through speech. So we have to be very vigilant what Shaila is saying and understand it is Shaila's problem. It is not your problem. It is Shaila's suffering. It is not your suffering. So this is how, the world is yearning for freedom from this dependency.
Yes.
Because they are not self-realized. And we are fortunate of having self-realized. So all this agony and dependency and suffering of the name bearer, associated name bearer, then you will start feeling that independence and freedom. In fact, we get affected by our relations also. Anything happening or dealing with the relations, because that dealing is solely based on Shaila's karma only. Now don't say they are my karma. So when you say my karma, means whose karma? Shuddhatma's karma? Pure soul's karma? No. I have no connectivity whatsoever with any of the karma of Shaila. But previously, as I am Shaila, you were driven by misguided intellect. And that was the cause of all trouble. In the sense, why trouble? The reason was it was self-centered. It was not able to see things correctly. But now we are self-realized and we know I am pure soul. So it's like mistakenly you knock the neighbor's door and you realize, oh my God, that was a mistake. How could I miss that? It never happens. But in case, then you come to know, oh, this is not my place. So when you are at your home, you feel free, you feel independent, you feel comfortable. So our dwelling, we must check our dwelling every time. Hey, where are you? So you say, no, I am pure soul.
Okay.
I am acting as pure soul, I am living as pure soul, I am perceiving what is happening with Shaila. That is our independence.
Okay, I got it.
So it is wonderful, but you need to have this analysis and come to that understanding that whatever happens with Shaila, it is not in your control. It is not in any God's control. Because what was endorsed out of ignorance previously, what was endorsed, not what I endorse. You have to understand that. When you say I, you must always ask, who is that I? Then you will realize that my existence as I am Shaila was not in the past. My existence as I am Shaila will not be there in the future.
Yes.
And today my existence as I am Shaila is not there.
Yes.
I am pure soul.
Yes.
So then what is Shaila? Who is Shaila? Shaila is outcome of the ignorant projections of the past.
The past.
Do you understand? So your association with Shaila has now been identified. Who this Shaila is and who you are.
Yes.
So there will be inherent tendency, because we have lived all our life and we have acquired this grace of wisdom of self, knowing ourself out of grace only, not through our efforts. So when you reinstate your identity as I am pure soul, and what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to watch, perceive what Shaila passes through as part of her karmic unfolding of her karma. So then that experience of independence will naturally come. And in fact, at the same time, your leftover discharge ownership of Shailya will also get away and you will be freed. You are freeing Shailya also because your trespassing into Shailya, not truly that was affecting your release, your freedom. And so you're freeing Shailya also, and you are also getting freed.
Yes, beautiful.
Both advantage we get. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Thank you so much.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Syadwad?
Yeah, Jai Satchidanand. Yeah, can you please explain the state of Kevali and Keval?
What was that?
State of Kevali and Keval Gyan.
Deepakanandji?
Jai Satchidanand. See, Kevali means one who has attained Keval Gyan, that is, who has reached that absolute state of knowledge. What it means, one who gets freed from all the doership of the mind, speech, body, associated mind, speech, body, and all the worldly happening. There are two aspects. We in our ignorant state, we used to say, I am knowing, I know. At the same time, we used to also say, I did this, I did that. And due to that doership aspect, we used to impose and project doership outside happening also. When Dada has revealed the fact that all this worldly happening of your own mind-speech body and mind-speech body of others and all living aspects, living beings all around the world, all the universe, then it is clear that that happening is not in anybody's control. It is solely in the hand of the natural cosmic power of Vyasthit Shakti. And when all your discharge ownership is freed, that is, you understand the happening of your own mind, speech, body, and associated connectivity, karmic connectivity with Dr. Kashyapji, then what remains is you had these two aspects, I know and I do. So now the doership aspect is, you got away with it with total clarity and conviction. You know that it is not in anybody's hand. That is where that state comes, that your perceptive state is over. And now you know that Kashyap is absolutely free from you, separate from you. And that at that point, that ascension takes place, that one attains absoluteness or Keval Gyan. Keval Gyan means only knowledge. Total freedom from every kind of doership of Kashyap and associated karmas. So that is going to happen. Then that state of knowing only remains. That's why it is said, finality is knowledge. Jai Satchidanand. Tirthankar Bhagwan are also in the state of absolute knowledge, but they have additional karma of the welfare, instrumental, they are instrumental for the welfare or real welfare of the world. So that aspect plays its part for the rest of their life as absolute, with absolute knowledge, which was 30 years for Lord Mahavira. It started at the age of 42 when he attained absolute knowledge, that is Keval Gyan, and at the age of 72, he got liberated. Jai Satchidanand.
Pulinanandji?
Yeah, You see, basically, Keval is one who has attained Keval Gnan. Keval Gnan means absolute knowledge. We have got partial knowledge, then that increases, and the entire soul gets uncovered and gets called Keval Gnan. In another way, if you want to just verbalize this, is absence of ego. Today we have this, Antaratma Dasha, I, intermediate state, I. But that I also gradually diminishes and becomes zero. So Dada Bhagwan had only 4 degrees of that I, then gradually it was 2, and then when that 2 also becomes 0, that is Keval Gnan. So in that state, you have only 2 things. You have on one side mind, body, speech discharging out, and other side you have the pure soul, the Shuddhatma. That the intermediate I is vanquished or becomes 0. So that is the state of Keval Gnan. And one who has achieved that, he's called a Keval Gnani. So he is not instrumental directly in the welfare. Those who come in his contact and whatever their karmic accounts, they may benefit, may not benefit from his state of being. Whereas for Tirthankar, he is instrumental in the welfare of the others. So his mind, body, speech are helpful for all those who come in touch with him and interact with him. He will not go to them. The Tirthankar will not go to them. Whoever comes in contact, they get the benefit of his absolute state, his Keval Gnan state, his all encompassing knowledge, all encompassing vision. There's nothing left for him to know. So he can shed light on all dimensions of everything, all human beings, the cosmos, everything, history, geography, everything. So we are in the process of becoming, attaining Keval Gnan, and the 5 Agnas is one of the primer tools for that. And as we go up, as we increase our awareness increases, our experience, separation experience that we are the pure soul. Then as our Jagrati, awareness that I am the pure soul, as that increases, we are going ahead or progressing towards Keval Gnan. In Dada's terminology, as our degrees increase from say 320 to 330, 40, 45, 50, till go to 360 degrees. So this is all. Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, Kashyap.
Yeah, yes, that is clear. Thank you.
But it's like I'm very inquisitive, but what did you really wanted to know about Kavdi?
Yeah, so the aim was that we can, keep that in our Laksh, in our aim, and then work on that, so that was the aim.
What I have understood, our effort should be to understand the associated mind, speech, body, for you, Dr. Kashyap, for me, Deepakanand. What are the forces which is making Deepakanand do everything, and what are the forces which make other people deal with Deepakanand? And that is where my interaction or my trespassing is not there as pure soul that I am. It just happens on the Deepakanand side, on the pure soul side, like mirror, and everything that happens is outside mirror, but within mirror, everything gets reflected. And I should not own any of those happening of Deepakanand that is happening outside but getting reflected inside. And mistakenly, I'm not able to understand that they are not mine. And when that total understanding with total conviction and decision comes, you attain that state that, yes, they are not mine. We say that they are not mine, but that feeling, that effect of false ownership discharging ownership is definitely there. And when we come to that state, that is the finality. And our effort should be to understand how Dr. Kashyap works. For me, how Deepakanand or what other evidence or how the natural power of Vyasthit Shakti, cosmic power of Vyasthit Shakti, make Deepakanand do things. He doesn't want to do it. I don't want to do it. He may want to do it because of his past, desires, which has come along with this body. Jai Satchidanand. And today's major problem is Deepakanand is not normal. His mind, speech, body are violent. Others are getting hurt by him. And that is where this abnormality, I had to free Deepakanand from that abnormality because he can't do it himself. So I help him. That's why that is Deepakanand's claim that you got the wisdom of knowledge and you got freed and you got liberated practically. But your liberation cannot be endorsed until you free me, you make me normal. All the past egos who did various ignorant projections on me as body self. So from gross I became subtle, as from effect another causes were built, and that's why I'm here. So now you be wise and free me, and you also get free. Jai Satchidanand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to add a little bit, you're right. By understanding what is Keval or Keval, it may help us to make a spiritual goal that I want to attain that. And that Dada has also given in our Nishchay Vyavhar Charan Vidhi, Apnama Jevo Atma Varte Teo Atma Maram Vartao. May I have the same soul experience as yours. He was at 356 degrees. So may I also achieve that state of being. We may not get Keval Gnan in this life birth, but very close to Keval Gnan, So understanding this and then aspiring for that separateness or that soul experience at, say, 356 degrees that Dada Bhagwan was. You can. And what it would really mean is, we are so detached from the body, so detached from the mind, speech, body, that anything happening at the gross level, at the mind, body, speech will not affect us, headache, somebody's wonky speech, or some physical, external things on the body. So we are not affected at the physical level, then we are also not affected at the sukshma level or the antaskaran level. The buddhi will be almost non-existent, very, very little functional buddhi to run the body. Chit will be very pure. The mind will be totally as an object of observance. It will just be a total gnay. So the antaskaran will also be just flowing and will be an observer. And even at the anchor that, I am the pure soul and all this happening is to the body. Like Dada Bhagwan, when he had the fracture, his foot, he would just observe that this is a fracture to Ambalal, this is the pain he is doing it. I'm not experiencing it. So that separateness was there, you see. So that is a precursor or something, pre-experience to Keval Gnan, before we attain Keval Gnan. Almost liberated category state, 356 degrees, where essentially all the three things, this gross, the subtle, and the subtlest, don't affect us, and we remain anchored in the pure soul. That is the state we can aspire to reach in this life. To an extent we are. There are many things, small things don't affect us. We can remain as a observer. We can nullify its effect with the help of the 5 agnas or Bhagavate Bowl and all those sentences. So to an extent we are doing that. That same thing will increase and go up to that level. Okay, Jai Satchidanand.
Just
Satchidanand. Pooja, you come after a long time. You have a question, Pooja?
Yeah, Jai Sachidanand, Pulinanandji and Deepakanandji and Virginia Uncle and Mahatmas.
Jai Satchidanand.
And just to kind of, go along with line with this topic and also kind of revisit where we started maybe almost a year ago with the Nishchay Vidhi. Can you help me understand, just when I'm thinking and maybe explain who is, like, I think I have this down, but I want to make sure, like, Puja is doing Charan Vidhi and my intermediate, Dasha state, like you said, is who's getting purified, I think. And then my Shuddhatma state is watching Puja do the Charan Vidhi. There's like 3 components. And we're calling it Nishchay Nirnay or Nishchay Vyavhar Charan Vidhi. So maybe like, why are we calling that? And just to make sure that I understand the purpose and who's doing the Charan Vidhi.
Deepakanandji?
Jai Satchidanand. What a profound question, and wonderful question. Who was saying, I am Puja?
My ignorant past.
Your
state.
I that was ignorant was saying, I am Puja.
Mhm.
While you were not married, then you say, I am unmarried. But just when you pass through that process of marriage ceremony, just after 1 hour, you are saying, I'm married. What was that magic which the Panditji did with you? Some magic stick.
Right.
He changed the belief.
Mhm.
He changed your belief. And in the witnessing presence of the divine fire,
Mhm.
around which you circle around 4 times,
Mhm.
which is the normally ceremony given by our scriptures, our past wise people. The thing that worked was the witness. I mean, the fire which acted as witness.
Mhm.
Same way, with this realization, when you pass through the Gyan Vidhi ceremony, that is self-realization ceremony, initiation ceremony, that ceremony was conducted in the divine presence of the inner enlightened soul of the enlightened person. Some of them were Dada Bhagwan, others Kanadadaji, and whoever from whom this realization was acquired. But in all these ceremonies of self-realization, initiation ceremony, the witnessing factor that worked was the enlightened soul inside. And in its presence, the person, it was A.M. Patel, Dada Bhagwan, Kanadadaji, or now others,
Mhm.
they made you speak the difference between the body self and the pure soul self. And in that 1 hour of rigorous demarking qualities of the body self and the pure soul self, that I that believed I am Puja, and all the worldly identities, I'm a girl, I'm a Patel, I'm a so-and-so, I'm with your identity as your academic achievement, your nationality, your sex, your religious belief, etc., etc. That was all relative because it was all changing. That has changed, and you said, I am pure soul. Now, the state of that pure soul, although Dada has said that you have been given, imparted that absolute state of pure soul, but your operating condition, that is, you are potentially that pure soul which is totally free and same as Dada Bhagwan and Simanda Swami, like the absolutes. But your operating condition came down after the self-realization ceremony. The reason your body self was not capable enough to retain that elevated state. So that's how you entered the interim state, temporary interim state, wherein you are getting away with the leftover ownership of I towards puja. So
Is that a new
I,
entity? That's a new entity?
It's you can say new entity. It's a grace function that has worked and that has emerged. That new entity has emerged as I am pure soul, which is in between puja and absolute pure soul. And that I is doing all these Nischay, Vyavhar, Charan, Vidhi. What it means, all your relative dealing, that is puja's relative dealing interaction, should reflect your pure soul state, which it does not express now. You say, you verbalize, I am pure soul, but all your interactions and outside behavior depicts, reveals your puja state. As mother, as wife, it doesn't matter. Dada Bhagwan was also in that state, but nowhere in his interaction ever we found that. And everyone in his family, everyone who dealt with him as Dada Bhagwan only, although he was A.M. Patel. Because he had reached that perfection of normality and he got away with all the leftover ownership, for which he had said, we have reached 356 degrees, 4 degrees we are lacking. Ours is little more. And to get away with that, those degrees of slackness, which is depicting or revealing our state as I am the name bearer. Although it is not there, in our belief it is not there, but there's a discharging effect which was not addressed, which was not corrected, and which has not, which did not get corrected during the self-realization initiation ceremony. That's why he has given the 5 agnas, the 5 precepts, with which it is Nischay, Vyavhar, Charan Vidhi. What does that mean? Having realized yourself as real self, you are getting away with the relative, leftover ownership of the relative, which is not yours. And see, there are two things. One thing is the karmic effect which gets reflected in puja. It's part of the past karma. And there are other things which puja does out of the self-realization, out of the wisdom of knowledge what she has got. Do you understand? See, that was not your normal curriculum, or that was not your normal behavior. But after self-realization, you started doing the Charan Vidhi and started saying, I'm pure soul, I'm free from mind, speech, and body. Correct? So that I, which got separated out from puja as I am puja, now saying I am pure soul, but not fully reach that perfection state of I am pure soul. It is trying to free itself, which Dada has so gracefully given us, to free ourselves from the leftover karmic effect of ownership, of owning the body self qualities. Do you understand? And your experience of I am pure soul is shifting from I am puja to I am pure soul. although that state of I am pure soul is absolute, given as absolute, but because it is also associated with owning what is of puja. When you say I am pure soul, then pure soul, perpetual entity, pure soul qualities, and pure soul phases, they are yours. But those of puja you claim as mine because of the associated speech, which is there as part of karmic effect, which she reveals or expresses through I. I went here, I went there, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. So all this, you have to be watchful. So like when Aishani says something, Mama, my tummy is upset, then you know Aishani's tummy is upset and she's my daughter. But if some other girl says, my tummy is upset, both says, my tummy is upset, you will tell, go to your mom. Do you understand? Because it is not your responsibility. You can help, you will help. But this is how you understand what Aishani says, that then deal because of your responsibility. In the same way, when puja says, I'm not feeling well, my tummy is hurting, then you have to realize it is puja's tummy. Puja is saying, my tummy is not well. I am pure soul. And as neighbor, you will do whatever is necessary. You give her medicine and all that. So that I, which has got realized to progress in the inner journey, to have total experience of pure soul, is doing the Charan Vidhi. Charan Vidhi has two parts. One is on the relative part, the relative side, which is puja's deficiency. She's trying to correct. That is by relative viewpoint. And on the real viewpoint, you are contemplating pure soul qualities. I am pure soul. I possess infinite knowledge and all that. Both the thing. Because it is your two responsibilities. Staying in pure soul, you have to settle puja and free puja from the leftover slackness or abnormalities, what she has gathered in the life flow. Right? Jai Satchidananda.
Okay.
Pulinanandji?
Jai Satchidananda.
Yeah, see, it's the same entity. First, we had the belief that I am puja. You know, now that belief has come with the coming together of the pure soul and Paramahansa, in the very primary initial stage, that I, Vibhavik I has, we call as ego. So that I, since infinite life births has been associated with the body, I am puja, I am this, I am that. Now, after Gnan Vidhi, that same I gets the right belief that I am the pure soul. So we call it the intermediate I or Antaratma Dasha. Now, by belief and partial experiences, it has become the pure soul, but it has not become 100% pure soul. You see? Now, to become 100% pure soul, this Nishcha Vyavahar Charan Vidhi has been given by Dada Bhagwan, where I have to say that I am the pure soul with this qualities: infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite vision, Anand Darshan Shakti. So it reinforces the new belief that we have got, the new. And at the same time, we have to cleanse out the past relative things that are the past relative wrong beliefs that are still there with puja. So the Charan Vidhi contains the second part also, where it is cleansing away all the past things that since the time Sansar Bhajavan Aram Karthi, since beginning of Sansar, whatever mistakes I have done, Viradna Aparada Vinay, I'm apologizing for that. So that's the relative cleansing. The relative, you're saying, let may my mind and intellect remain forever at your lotus feet. Maru mana ne buddhi sarvatha apne vashvartya karo. So So that's the relative dimension, which is saying is now I want to cleanse it, be away and separate, Then it also asking that one vachan kahani apna je research tha, may I be absolutely free flowing the way you are, So the relative dimension cleansing part also is there. That's why it's called Nischay Vyavhar Charan Vidhi. Nischay means the real part, Vyavhar means the relative part. So cleansing of the relative and anchoring on the real. Anchoring in the real means saying who I am. So we say I'm the pure soul. I'm pure. I'm one source of infinite knowledge, source of infinite bliss, source of infinite vision, avyabhat, etc. So all the properties of the pure soul. We recite those properties of pure soul to firm up that belief. The belief was given by grace and it has to be firmed up because we have also files to discharge, we have what to do, family, job, etc. So in the process, dust accumulates on that jagrati, on the awareness that I am the pure soul. Remove that dust, to remove the dust on the or to become more vigilant or more jagrat. We need to say, no, I am not puja, I am pure soul, I am pure soul, I am pure soul. I am pure soul with these properties, infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, etc. etc. So the purpose is to, while executing worldly life and discharge karmas, we remain anchored in the pure soul. So the nischay part is there, real part is there, and cleansing of the relative. So nischay and vyavhar, that's the reason it's called nischay vyavhar charan vidhi, because it has two components to the whole thing.
And it just throughout the vidhi, it goes back and forth. Seems like, or is
yes,
it like structured in a way?
Yeah, it's sort of. Initial part is this thing, it's more on the relative side.
Yeah,
The mid portion is on the real side.
all the
Chaitanya Gan
characteristics.
Swarupi Shuddhatma Chu Arupi Chu Asanga Chu. Starting from that, that's all the real part. Wherever that I am like this, all that is the real part. Then again, you have a little bit of the relative also coming at the end. So the mid portion is all the real part. The remaining two are relative parts.
And when we talk about like our degree, like we talk about our degrees increasing, that's our Dashatma state increasing. That's that portion, the middle portion that will help us increase that state.
When we say degrees are increasing, essentially the Agnan part is reducing and the Gnan part is increasing of the Antaratma I. The intermediate I has two components, It believes I want to go to moksha. It believes I don't want to hurt. But somewhere that anger, pride, deceit, krodh, man, maya, lobha are also playing their part.
Right.
Why you insulted me? So that man is playing its part. So that's all that deficiencies, krodh, man, maya. We can call it as Agnan. It's not. And so that as the Agnan part reduces, as the Gnan will increase and our degrees will go up.
And is that Agnan part also relative?
Pure, everything.
Right? Okay.
Everything,
like
other than soul, everything is relative.
Yeah, okay. Because we hear the term like real relative and relative real, like that's what I want to make sure.
It's relative. Krodhman Madan is relative. You also have the discharge moha, the beliefs of happiness in the five senses, food, movies, that still pulls us, na? We are attracted. So that discharge moha also, that is also another dimension of the relative. Discharge moha and discharge kashai, Krodhman Maya. So both are the ones which are relative and those are being cleansed. As the karmas play out, you see, it's not only we one dimension. As the karmas play out, as our events and things go in our life, your married children, then upbringing, job, promotion. So as the karmas play out, those krodh, man, maya, lobh will also play out. And as they play out, we have to remain vigilant and square it off.
And that's where Sambhav, like that's your focus is there. When you say square it off, it's just neutralize it. without
means
rag or dvesh.
without Bhagavad, yes. Essentially, what Dada wants to really say is be an observer of what's happening to file 1. But we cannot remain totally separate. So we have to ask, this is file, may I get the strength to do Sambhavinikar? To remain detached. Oh, this is Vyasthit. So that I don't get, he did it. No, Vyasthit did it. So these agnas are there to remain separate.
So you keep asking for your soul, for Shakti to remain
That's
separate.
why I ask for Shakti. Mane agna varevani Shakti apo. So that I don't get engrossed in that file number 1, essentially. Those will only play out with time. You see, some things will play out with time. Some things we can do Purusharth on a proactive basis whenever we are free. Spare time. We can ask for strength and all. So that on a proactive basis, we can ask for strength in our free time. So that whenever the events fold out, we don't get entangled or engrossed into it. If I ask that I don't want to hurt this person, don't want to hurt them, in my spare time. So when that person comes, that awareness will also pop up. Oh, I don't want to hurt him. You know?
Yeah.
So it's as the events play out, as the discharge karmas play out, we have to remain vigilant and not get entangled. And in case we get entangled, then pratikraman is always there. That's one of the ways of squaring off. Basically releasing whatever charge parmanus we have brought. The entire mind body speech from birth to death is a big bundle of charge parmanus. Now they are going to discharge at an appropriate time. So when they are discharging, we should not get entangled into the effects of the discharge. That's the key of the whole Purusharth.
Is your Antaratma Dasha getting entangled, or is it your Agnan part getting entangled?
Yeah, it's the Antaratma has both Gnan and Agnan.
So
the
they
Agnan
both can get tangled?
The Agnan is pulling the Antaratma, that's all. I sometimes become myself, body self, I'm pulling. And then again, I know I'm good. So. That's the way it is.
Okay, that's helpful.
Okay, Deepakanji?
Just quickly, first of all, after marriage, you are not single. So after getting realized that factor of ignorance is not there, what we lack is our vigilance today, our decision today, our nischay today. So those words are not applicable of ignorance. It is not leftover ignorance. It is the effect of the ignorance which is playing its part primarily due to lack of our decision, our firmness. And you said about people who don't have this realization, they are on relative. Those who are seeking self-realization, they are on relative real. After self-realization, it is real relative. You are installed on real and you are getting away with the relative. Dada was in the real state.
Okay.
So all our words, all our expressions of ignorance, they're not applicable now. Because all your expression as a single person is not there. Now you are married. Everything associated with marriage is there. You don't even dream that I am single. Did you ever dream? I have never dreamt myself that I am married. So this is a striking thing which expresses itself. So if you try to connect, then it will lead you somewhere else, which is not right. Do you understand that? All expression associated with single living is not applicable anymore. So don't even utter that. You don't even utter that. In the same way, your ignorant state condition are not applicable to you. You are self-real. So I am pure self. What you are getting away with the false ownership, my, discharging my, which Dada got away with it. So he said I minus my is Supreme Godhood state, Paramatma. And I plus small m, that is discharging m, is Mahatma. And when I minus m becomes like Dada Bhagwan, then we will be as Supreme God stood same as Dada Bhagwan. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Our time is up, so can you do Sri Mantra? Everybody
Okay.
follow.
Jai Satchidanand. Namo Vitragaya.
Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantaya.
Harihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Chitanam.
Buddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo
Ayo.
Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Namo
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Ahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Eso
Esto
Panchanamukkaro.
Panchanamukaro.
Sava Pava Pranasano.
Sava Pava Pranasano.
Pranasano.
Mangalanam Cha Savesim.
Mangalanam Cha Savesim.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai Satchidanand.
Satchidanand Deepakanandji Pulinanandji.
Jai
God
Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Mahatma.
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand Mahatma.
Pulinanandji, Jai Satchidanand. Jai Satchidanand Mahatma.
Mahatma.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Dr. Aritha, Dr.
Jai Satchidanand.
Arunamba, Puja, Jai Satchidanand, Jai
Jai
Satchidanand,
Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Reddy Dada.
Jai Satchidanand. Jai Arunabai,
Jai
Latabai,
Satchidanand.
Nitabai.
Jai Satchidanand.